The calm of ancient China, sleep stories from the Dynasty. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the world slow down. You've just entered a realm where stories drift like soft whispers in the night, guiding you into peaceful dreams. In the heart of the Tang Dynasty, a young scholar named Liang wandered into a secluded bamboo forest, seeking solace after a long and weary journey. The forest was a sanctuary of green, where towering bamboo stalks stretched endlessly toward the heavens, their leaves shimmering like emerald silk in the fading light. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the forest came alive with a gentle symphony, the soft creak of bamboo swaying in the evening breeze, the whisper of leaves brushing against one another, and the distant murmur of a crystal-clear stream. Liang settled by the water's edge, its surface reflecting the first stars of the night. He closed his eyes, letting the forest's melody wash over him. Just as the last rays of sunlight disappeared, an elderly monk emerged from the shadows, his robes flowing like mist. With a serene smile, he sat beside Liang and began to speak. His voice was as soft as the rustling leaves, weaving tales of harmony and balance, of letting go of burdens and embracing the present moment. The monk's words seemed to blend with the forest itself, each syllable carried on the breeze. Liang felt his worries dissolve, replaced by a deep, unshakable calm. Above, the stars began to multiply, their light filtering through the bamboo canopy like scattered pearls. The monk's voice grew softer, blending with the gentle rhythm of the stream and the soothing rustle of leaves. As the night deepened, Liang's eyelids grew heavy. He lay back on the soft earth, the bamboo swaying above him like a lullaby. The monk's presence faded into the shadows, but his words lingered, a quiet echo in the forest. Under the watchful gaze of the stars, Liang drifted into a peaceful slumber, cradled by the whispers of the bamboo and the timeless wisdom of the ancient woods. During the Song Dynasty, a painter named Mei found her sanctuary in a moonlit pavilion perched above a tranquil lake. Each night, she would sit by the water's edge, her brush gliding across silk parchment as she captured the ethereal beauty of the moon's reflection. The lake was a mirror of stillness, its surface broken only by the occasional ripple of a fish or the gentle sway of lotus blossoms. One evening, as the full moon hung low in the sky, Mei noticed a graceful swan gliding across the water. Its feathers shimmered like silver, and its movements were so fluid it seemed to dance with the moonlight. Mesmerized, Mei watched as the swan approached the pavilion. In a breath, the swan transformed into a celestial maiden, her robes flowing like liquid starlight. Her presence radiated calm, and her voice was as soft as the breeze that stirred the reeds. The maiden spoke of the moon's eternal beauty, its cycles of waxing and waning, and the lessons it held for those who sought inner peace. Mei listened intently, her brush moving almost of its own accord, capturing the maiden's words in strokes of ink and color. The maiden's tales wove a tapestry of serenity, of letting go, of finding light in darkness, and of embracing the quiet moments that nourished the soul. As the night deepened, the celestial maiden's form began to fade, dissolving into the moonlight that bathed the pavilion. Mei felt a profound sense of calm settle over her, as if the maiden's wisdom had become part of the very air she breathed. She set down her brush and lay back on the pavilion's wooden floor, her gaze fixed on the moon above. The lake shimmered like a sea of stars, and the gentle lapping of water against the shore became a lullaby. Mei's eyelids grew heavy, and she drifted into a restful sleep, her dreams filled with shimmering lakes, silver light, and the celestial maiden's soothing voice. In the embrace of the moonlit night, Mei found not only inspiration but also the peace she had been searching for. In a quiet village nestled among rolling hills during the Ming Dynasty, an elderly tea master named Wu was known for his nightly tea ceremonies. His humble tea house, with its paper lanterns glowing softly in the evening, was a refuge for weary travelers. The air was always filled with the delicate aroma of jasmine and the gentle sound of a bamboo wind chime, creating an atmosphere of timeless tranquility. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a young warrior arrived at Wu's door. His armor was battered, his face etched with exhaustion, and his eyes carried the weight of countless battles. Wu welcomed him with a warm smile and gestured for him to sit on a cushion by the low wooden table. Without a word, Wu began preparing a special blend of jasmine tea, his movements deliberate and graceful, as if each step were a meditation. The warrior watched as Wu poured hot water into a porcelain teapot, the steam rising in delicate swirls. The scent of jasmine filled the room, wrapping the warrior in a comforting embrace. Wu handed him a cup, its warmth seeping into his hands. As they sipped the tea, Wu began to speak, his voice as soothing as the tea itself. He told stories of the mountains that stood unwavering through the ages, of rivers that flowed endlessly yet always found their way, and of the timeless wisdom of nature that taught resilience and peace. The warrior felt his tension begin to melt away, replaced by a profound sense of calm he had not known in years. The tea house seemed to fade, and he found himself imagining the serene landscapes Wu described, the misty peaks, the gentle streams, and the quiet forests. As the tea ceremony continued, the warrior's eyelids grew heavy. The rhythmic cadence of Wu's voice, the soothing scent of jasmine, and the warmth of the tea lulled him into a deep sense of relaxation. By the time Wu set down the teapot, the warrior was fast asleep, his head resting gently on the table. Wu smiled, covering the young man with a soft blanket. The bamboo wind chime tinkled softly in the breeze, and the lanterns cast a golden glow over the peaceful scene. In the quiet of the tea house, the warrior's dreams were filled with the gentle rhythm of Wu's voice and the timeless serenity of the mountains and rivers. For the first time in years, he slept without fear, cradled by the tea master's wisdom and the soothing embrace of the night. During the Han Dynasty, the annual Lantern Festival transformed the night into a sea of light, a celebration of hope and renewal. In the heart of the bustling village, a young girl named Ling wandered among the crowds, her eyes wide with wonder. Thousands of lanterns floated into the sky, their soft glow painting the darkness with hues of gold and amber. The air was filled with laughter, music, and the sweet scent of candied fruits. As the night deepened, Ling became separated from her family. The once familiar streets now seemed like a maze of shadows and light. Her heart raced, but just as fear began to take hold, an old woman appeared, her presence as calming as the lanterns above. In her hands, she carried a lantern shaped like a lotus flower, its delicate petals glowing with a warm, inviting light. The woman knelt to meet Ling's gaze, her eyes kind and wise. "Do not be afraid," she said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "The lanterns are here to guide you." She took Ling's hand and led her through the festival, weaving stories of hope, renewal, and the beauty of letting go. She spoke of how the lanterns carried wishes to the heavens, how their light reminded people to release their worries and embrace the present moment. Together, they reached a quiet spot by the river, away from the crowds. The old woman handed Ling the lotus lantern, its light flickering like a heartbeat. "Make a wish," she said softly. Ling closed her eyes, her small hands clutching the lantern. When she opened them, the woman helped her release it into the sky. The lantern rose slowly, its glow growing brighter as it ascended, until it blended with the stars above. Ling watched in awe, her earlier fear replaced by a deep sense of peace. The old woman smiled and sat beside her, the two of them gazing at the lanterns that now dotted the night like a constellation of dreams. The gentle hum of the festival faded into the background, replaced by the soothing rustle of the river and the soft crackle of the lantern's flames. As the night grew still, Ling's eyelids grew heavy. She lay back on the grass, the warmth of the lantern's light still lingering in her heart. The old woman's presence faded, but her stories remained, a quiet echo in the night. Under the starlit sky, Ling drifted into a peaceful sleep, cradled by the glow of the lanterns and the promise of hope they carried. High in the mist-shrouded mountains of ancient China, during the Qin dynasty, a hermit named Lao lived in solitude. His small hut, perched on a rocky ledge, was surrounded by endless peaks and veils of swirling fog. the air was thick with silence, broken only by the occasional whisper of the wind or the distant chime of a temple bell echoing through the valleys. Lao spent his days in quiet contemplation, his wisdom as deep and enduring as the mountains themselves. One day, a troubled emperor, weighed down by the burdens of his kingdom, made the arduous climb to Lao's hut. His robes were dusty, his face lined with exhaustion, and his heart heavy with worry. Lao greeted him with a serene smile and invited him inside. The hut was simple, its only adornments a low wooden table, a steaming kettle, and a window that framed the majestic peaks. Lao prepared a cup of herbal tea, its earthy aroma filling the small space. He handed the cup to the emperor, who sipped it slowly, feeling its warmth seep into his bones. As they sat together, Lao began to speak, his voice as steady and calming as the mountain breeze. He shared stories of the mountain's enduring strength, how it stood unshaken through storms and time, and how its stillness held the secrets of peace. The emperor listened intently, his worries beginning to dissolve like mist under the morning sun. Lao's words wove a tapestry of wisdom, of letting go, of finding strength in stillness, and of trusting the natural flow of life. Outside, the wind whispered through the pines, and the distant chime of the temple bell seemed to punctuate the hermit's teachings. As the hours passed, the emperor felt a profound sense of calm settle over him. His eyelids grew heavy, and Lao's voice blended with the sounds of the mountain, creating a lullaby that carried him into a deep and restorative sleep. He dreamed of towering peaks, endless skies, and a stillness that filled his soul. When he awoke, the first light of dawn was breaking over the horizon, painting the mountains in hues of gold and pink. Lao was gone, but the emperor felt renewed, as if the hermit's wisdom had become part of him. He descended the mountain with a lighter heart, carrying Lao's teachings back to his kingdom. The wind whispered through the pines once more, and the temple bell chimed in the distance, a reminder of the timeless wisdom that lingered in the mountains. The emperor knew he would return, for in the stillness of the peaks, he had found not only guidance but also peace. As you take in this moment of peace and relaxation, we invite you to support this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps bring more soothing stories and tranquil moments to life. Thank you for being here. May your nights be restful and your dreams peaceful.